We'll let the DJ do his thing. Y'all can shop with the vendors. Unfortunately, all the food is gone. Let's give a strong round of applause for everybody who had their hands. So, do we have any questions right off the scene? Do we have any questions, good brother?
Yo, we was chopping it up yesterday, and I believe I told you I wanted you to touch on the language of how we use certain words and terms when it comes to what it means to be black and to be, you know what I'm saying, for black power. You know what I'm saying?
So when I was in prison, I began a comrade of mine had shared a book with me. It's called Book 12. And Book 12 was written by former Black Panther Party members, former VA, Black Liberation Army members. And what they did was they went back and began to analyze the mistakes that they made. And one of them was having clarity about language. And it also came out like, well, when I was in prison, guys was like, man, I'm going to my house, which is referring to a cell. Are you going where? I'm going to my house. Like, so you comfortable with this shit, huh? I'm going back to my cell. I'm in prison. So it's so important that the words that we use, that they're clear and precise. So we call ourselves the vanguard. What do we mean by that? Are we in a position, are we ready to be vanguard? In my opinion, no. We're far away from that, but we can be building towards that. We're talking about black power. What does that mean? No, we have to, anything that you say that you need to be able to define that. And defining that, it has to be able to relate to the people and moving them from one direction to the next. Like I was just in California with OP. OP stands for Original Panther. And my comrade, we was at some event, man. Cat was talking so far, we thought we was on Mars or some shit. This is how out of space they was with their language. And he was like, we need an analysis from the people to the people. So simple, complex things that hit people right where they are. But we only can do that if we're developing ourselves. But also what happens is we forget that we come from the block. In some form or some fashion. Again, we know how to communicate with people. And I'm not saying that don't use fancy words, but I'm saying being able to relate to people. So once you can meet people where they're at, then you can lift them up. And then they can begin to like my 10-year-old, he be dropping stuff on me. What you say? We go get the dictionary. But again, it's a matter of making sure that we're relating to people. And the people is the most important. And because we don't win, it's the people that win. And we can't forget that we're part of the people.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Nobody got no questions?
In the back?
My question is, as far as now everything going on from police brutality to lack of knowledge of self, I want to know, in your opinion or in your mind, what do you feel is the next move?
I mean, the next move is supporting institutions like this, building other institutions like this, having liberated zones that we're doing things like this on a regular basis. This can't be once a year. The only time that we meet. But also, there's a lot of great people in this room that's doing a lot of great things. But this the only time we see each other is at events like this, and we're past like, man, I know I said I was gonna call you, but as soon as you leave, you start doing 1,000 things, and then we see them again. Damn, I knew I forgot to call you. We have to be committed. We have to make, it's like being in a relationship. You gotta make time for your mate. You have to make time for like-minded people to begin to work together to achieve what we need to achieve. And we can't allow petty differences. We can't allow petty differences to get in the way to work. I mean, if a cat ain't slept with your woman or slept with your man, it ain't nothing to talk about. Let's work. We got something to work with. And we can't continue to allow outside forces to manipulate us.
Yeah.
Because again, we're the ones that's doing the work or trying to do the work, and then you got folks that's on the outside, that's poor sister over here, I like what you're doing, but it's really just using her to get access to the people on 29th Street.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we got to be smart about this, and make no mistake about it, you can't do this work without money. You can't, it's impossible. So those of us who are committed to this full time, how do we create money to support them full time? Those of us who are doing it part-time, how do we create money to support them part-time? I mean, these are conversations that we have, we have to develop. But again, that comes back to building trust, building love, and building relationships.
Any more questions? Just want to take maybe one or two more people. Dr. Robin.
Yeah, I come from a Christian background, and I talk to different people like Jehovah's Witness. But when I started coming into the knowledge, talking to the mic. When I started coming into the knowledge, this question came to me that, can we be saved and still a slave?
Can you repeat that question?
That's an
I
oxymoron.
said, can you be saved and still a slave? It's not a throw off on my Christian brothers and sisters because I come from that. And,
You ready for that
it's
answer?
just a question. I feel that, because a lot of us is getting confused. We think that we can get out of this condition by going to church and praying to God and thank you, Jesus.
Drop it on him, brother.
I said, that's an important question. And
Yeah.
the best way to answer that is, if you really love yourself and you love your people, you're going to push yourself to find knowledge. And knowledge is going to take you to one level to the next. Farrakhan once said of Malcolm X, he was always in pursuit of knowledge. And as he pursued more knowledge, the more he began to grow. Again, if you're settling and become complacent, so it's easy just to be on that level. I mean, I'm 42, so I'm not the same person I was a year ago, and so forth. And we can't be afraid to change. We can't be afraid. We can't get so caught up on ideas that we're not constantly going to the table, testing those ideas and seeing where they're going. And then also we have to be flexible enough and respecting people where they're at. My mother's been a hardcore Christian. She's still my mother. I still love her, even though we may disagree on that. And it's important, as Malcolm talked about in his later years, that we identify the things that we do agree on. One, that we get our ass kicked. Mm-hmm. And two, we suffering. Those who make no mistake about it. Whether you're Christian or Muslim or whatnot, the fact that you're black, we all subjugated to that. And also I want to add in there too, true enough, black men and black boys are suffering the way we're suffering. But we cannot act like black women and black girls are not going through the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, that language is disrespectful. That language is divisive, and we don't need no division. I mean, black women has held us down since the time we arrived, and we have to recognize and honor them. I mean, in my opinion, they catch more hell than we do. I mean, just the fact that to see there, watch your husband or your man get beat, and then you got to go home and possibly get raped by the guy who did that. That's double the thing. So again, we have to find the value in who we are and recognize that every person in our community is valuable. And we have to work each other to the point of challenging each other to be the best that we can be. And again, that comes out of relationships that we have to have. And not settling just to be who you are today, because that's not good enough. That's what we're missing in the households that when we had great grandma and great granddaddy that couldn't read and write, they had hell of a standards.
Yes, sir.
They had hell of a expectations. And I'm 42, I say yes everything. And people are like, man, why you say yes? Because I can remember my grandma whooping my ass when I said no, and yeah. And that was an expectation. Even though I got away from it, once I got back to what I knew, it's easy to practice.
Yep.
You feel me? Some of y'all had the same grandmas, right? And still today, these are some of the basic things that we can do. So when you left your household, your grandma, well, you got to fight twice as hard. They knew what racism was, and they prepared us for it. And that's what we're nowadays, we ain't preparing our children. Now, we send them out there like everything good, and they coming home with their ass kicked, and they're like, Mama and Dad, what happened? Why you didn't tell me? Because we've left the post of doing what we're supposed to do and holding it down and preparing our children what this fight is about, man. So that comes full circle. You know, if you're part of an organization, you're part of a religious group, and they're saying that for your people, but they're not doing that for your people, then you can't be nobody mad at yourself.
Yep.
Because they're doing what they're supposed to do. And if this is your calling, then, and something, but I get it though, because it's afraid to walk away from something. It's like being in a relationship and you don't want to walk away, but walking away is what's best for your people.
Yes.
Got a question?
Yeah, I'm just at the point where, you know, I get tired every time you turn the TV on, you see another brother get killed. I'm getting to the point where, how long we gonna keep letting this happen? I mean, it seems like to me, instead of marching, that we gonna have to just start doing what the hell they do. That's what it seems like to me.
You don't hurt me up. I mean, but everything has to be organized. There's a time and a place for everything.
And the right way and the wrong way to do it.
Like I was talking to brothers and sisters yesterday, we're saying we're soldiers and we're warriors, but we can't run down a block. Are we really warriors and soldiers? You know, we ain't no better shape than the pig that's been eating the donuts. You know, we just had a demonstration from these brothers. You know, we need to be signing up in that brother class. You know, again, we talking about, you know, we're going to buy guns, but you don't know how to shoot. I mean, again, these are basic, fundamental things that need to be done. And we take care of those things, everything else will take care of themselves. But also, we have to know that, like in this room, there's a possible FBI agent. I'm not calling anybody one, but I'm just recognizing what it is. And we have to organize it in ways to protect ourselves. Fred Hampton was murdered because the chief of his security was an FBI agent. Brother Malcolm's top security was an FBI agent. And that same FBI agent infiltrated the Black Panther Party. And there's nothing that you can do to stop infiltration. However, folks should not have full access to running, coming in today and tomorrow, he or she's holding a hell of a position. They're next to your heart. You know, so there has to be a systematic order how we're organizing, how we're recruiting, because this work is that damn serious.
I wanted to ask in regards to and in respect to what we here for today, Malcolm X. Just the general mindset of I know everybody possibly saw the story on like CNN and all these other different interviews that the mom who caught her son out there throwing rocks in Baltimore, and now they praising her. You know what I'm saying? The mindset of our people through either religion or through what I call whitewash thinking, which is if you rise up and fight the system, then that's not an acceptable way. You know what I'm saying? For us to revolt, because part of it is the language when they use words like riot when actually it should be revolt and uprising and stuff like that needs to happen. So how do you feel about just what Malcolm stood for and just that concept? Because even though he stood for self-defense and so-called violence, you know, he didn't actually have to hurt nobody to stand for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just the thought process that we have to be ready for that and prepared. You know what I'm saying? Even that stance is power within itself. You know what I'm saying? So.
And then we're just gonna do one more quick question, y'all, and then we're gonna do one more raffle, bring up Ms. Hill to share a couple of words, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up and let y'all mingle and shout to the vendor.
So let's clarify one thing. You know, Malcolm wasn't for violence.
Right.
Malcolm,
That's why I use quotations.
He was for liberation.
Yeah.
He was for defense of our community, and he said, you know, it was common sense. If somebody hit you, you hit them back.
Yeah.
You know, if a dog that's on a 2-leg or 4-leg bites you, you do what you have to do to protect yourself. That's common sense. In regards to the mother, I mean, I'm not going to question what that mother does, flat out. I may disagree with that, but I understand the context of what comes behind that. I mean, but I think for me that speaks to the low period of where we are in our struggle. I mean, in reality, you know, we're not at a high time where you can kiss your baby on the cheek and send him off the board. We're not. And I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, because in reality, That's necessary. But if that type of, if we're in a place where that conscience is being built, and because pretty much if her son was being recruited to go to fight in the army, she probably would have responded differently.
Yep.
Because she's been conditioned to look at it like that. So that means that we have to do work in our community for us to see that. You know, when a lot of us went off to Ferguson, it was like us going
to war.
Help our people. Fight the same thing we went out to Baltimore. And some in reality, like some of us may not come back. And then it didn't hit to me. I was talking to my son, like my fourth time going down there, and he's 10 years old, and I'm telling him about Mike Brown. I'm telling him how he got killed, and I'm like, I'm about to go down, and he looks at me, give me this look, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, you might not come back. I'll be worried about you. I didn't go that weekend. I went another weekend, but my son is important to me. His fears and his concerns is important to me. He may not comprehend what I'm trying to do at this moment, so I have to work with him to comprehend that. And hopefully, if something does happen to me, that someone steps up to do what they're supposed to do. I mean, again, these are things that we have to build within our community, and the work that still needs to be done. Brother, right there, you had a question? Yeah, you right there.
Brother Gat.
Can y'all hear me?
No.
That's all right. Well, really, you actually were speaking to the question that I had. And I just wanted to say I appreciate you speaking to COINTELPRO. You know, because we've been working, I've been working with BND, Occupy the Hood, some other organizations.
Check.
Praise be to Allah. With our other, with the community task force, and with us having a measure of success, that's when them people come. You know, and when they come looking like us. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you speaking to COINTELPRO and to Fred Hampton and speaking to how the enemies break our movement.